The Tipping Point with Mike Tipton is brought to you by Dubby. What is Dubby? Dubby is a clean energy drink that is made to give you focus with no crash, jitters, or angst like those other energy drinks have. They also have no maltodextrin fillers and don't use artificial dyes. Dubby contains vitamins, amino acids, a nootropic, and 150 milligrams of caffeine. Dubby's products are made in the USA in an FDA-inspected facility that strictly adheres to GMP manufacturing guidelines. All of the flavors are unique and custom-made by Dubby, and you'll never taste our taste anywhere else. The best part about it is they're affordable. Dubby's drinks come out to about $1 per drink, much cheaper than Starbucks or any of those canned energy drinks. To learn more, visit w.gg.com/discount/MRTipton33 and place your order today. Use promo code MrTipton33 and save today. Dubby Energy, be better. What's going on, everybody? I want to tell you about my new friends over at Cleverman. Visit them online at becleverman.com. What they gave me was the energizing face and beard scrub along with the Cleverman face scrubber. And trust me when I say this, the energizing face and beard scrub smells amazing. Combining it with the face scrubber, making sure that your boy was looking as good and sexy as possible, opened up a whole different sensation in my face that I haven't ever felt before. I felt so clean, so fresh, and so clean, like Outcast said, and it helped me feel like I was ready for my day. Make sure you visit them online at becleverman.com and follow them on Instagram at clevermannyc. The link is up in my bio if you want to check out all the amazing products they have. Visit them online, becleverman.com. Good morning, everybody. It is time for the Tipping Point with Mike Tipton, hanging out with you here on a Wednesday morning. You can see here I got a new hat going on. So before we get into the show, what's up, Sean? Shondon, hope that you're doing well, my friend, today. Got my dude Beastrilla tuned in over on YouTube as well. Hope everyone's having themselves a great day. Before we get started, I want to invite everybody to join me as I wait for this picture to load. I'm filibustering right now. There we go. Tonight at the Palomino Tavern, join me today. Along with the El Paso Locomotive, we're going to be having ourselves a watch party watching our El Paso Locomotive. You see, I got the hat on right now. This is going to be the trucker hat that's going to be given away on Saturday, this upcoming Saturday for the El Paso Locomotive out at Southwest University Park. Join me at the Palomino Tavern for the El Paso Locomotive FC watch party. That's going to be today at 6 p.m. Look at those specials, guys. $7 nachos, $7 loaded fries, $7 wings. You can't beat it. $4 Cazadores margaritas, $4 tequila, and, of course, $3 Estrella Jalisco. Guys, you got to come on out here, especially whenever the Locos score a free shot each and every time. I'm going to talk about that a little bit later going on in the show, but I want to invite you, if you're in El Paso, come on out. Join me at the Palomino Tavern as we get some libations, watching our El Paso Locomotive in action. You can see right here, I got the new hat. This is the trucker hat, like I said, that's going to be given away on Saturday. Go out there. Go to the games. We need you all out there. It's a fun-ass time. I was going to clip that. Maybe I'll do one a little better a little bit later on in the show. Got my dude Tommy Cananza tuning in right now saying, what's up, Tip? What's up, Tommy? Sean is saying, what's good? What's good with you, brother? Hope that you're having yourself a great day. Over here, new to the YouTube channel, like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. I got to adjust the hat. I'm normally not like a trucker hat kind of guy. So I don't know, like, where to have it. I do my fitted hats. All I do is my fitted hats. But today, all the I got excited about all the potential shots of tequila I'm going to be having a little bit later on. Apparently, I got a big ass head. Now that I have hair, I got a big ass head. There we go. That's working. Our dude Bistro saying, "What's up, Tommy? Hope that you're good, everybody." As we get into today's show, I was watching basketball yesterday. Y'all know me. It's playing tournament time. I'm going to be doing nothing but watching basketball. All right. I was watching the Charlotte Hornets, and admittedly, I don't watch a lot of Charlotte Hornets basketball. Not a team that I follow. Always will love the color scheme. If you grew up in the 90s and you had that starter jacket, you either had it or you wanted that starter jacket with the Charlotte Hornets on it. I never got it. I had a Chicago Bulls one, though. My brother got that for me, a Chicago Bulls starter jacket. But I was watching the Charlotte Hornets yesterday. That was a fun-ass game, man. If you're not watching the NBA right now, I don't know what you're doing. These games have been so much fun. There was 2 games yesterday. I get it. But those games were so much fun. Watching Phoenix and Portland, and then, of course, Charlotte and Miami. Miami getting knocked out of the playoffs on a last-second overtime buzzer beater. It's so good. It was so good. LaMelo Ball out here doing his thing, and it's very rare, very, very rare that I'm going to go out there and give a little bit of love to LaMelo Ball, but you got to give the devil his due. If it wasn't for his dad being annoying, also he's got a weird face, one of those punchable faces, right? But man, it was such a good game yesterday, such a good game. I hope that I genuinely hope I wasn't the only one watching that, because if you weren't watching it, what were you watching? You know what I mean? Maybe you're asleep. Maybe you're like Tommy, go to bed at 6:00 in the afternoon. Maybe you're like Bistrilla, watching something else. But if you weren't watching that basketball game, genuinely, I'm asking, what were you watching? That was a great basketball game. Yes, I know there's always going to be the questions, the what if, right? Bam Adebayo got hurt. What if Bam Adebayo doesn't get hurt? We can't play in what ifs. We got to play with what is, right? And what is that the Charlotte Hornets beat the Miami Heat yesterday in overtime to move on. They have a chance now, since they're the number 9 seed. They have a chance now to, win and hopefully get into the playoffs. Do you think Melo should have been ejected for tripping Bam? I think in the moment it's hard to do that, right? It's really hard to have that kind of call made. I wouldn't argue with it if they had kicked him out. If he had been ejected, I wouldn't have argued with it. It does look like a I'm trying to think of a nice word, but since we're not on Roku, I guess I could say it does kind of look like a bitch play. You know what I mean? Like tripping him up, hurting the guy. It did genuinely look like he was trying to hurt Bam Adebayo. He was apologetic after the game, being like, yo, that's my bad, whatever. But, man, I don't know. And then I was thinking maybe you suspend him for a game, but then the next game is going to be this playoff game, and that would be excuses on excuses on excuses. And what I hate the most is any time a sporting event could come to an end based off of a what if, right? Like the what if scenario. Because now you have all these, the league is coming after us, blah, 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 blah. Bistro saying, I watched. The Hornets are really trying hard to get eliminated by the Pistons. I agree with that one. It's a cool story, right? It's the first time the Hornets have been over 500 in 4 or 5 years, right? So it's cool. To me, it's a fun story. I think it's awesome to see teams that we're used to looking at as poverty ass franchises, for lack of a better term. But it's nice to see the Charlotte Hornets finally get a little bit of love, right? You don't see it all that often. This season, the season that the Carolina Panthers had, that was fun to watch, man. So I like seeing teams that struggled a lot, like just get to the playoffs, and then whatever happens, happens. Maybe you got something you could build on going forward next year. But I agree with you. It doesn't matter who the 8 seed is in the Eastern Conference. They're more than likely going to get slapped around by Detroit because Detroit is a really damn good team. A really damn good team. But it was, oh man, it is one of those things, right? Like I know Eric Spoelstra was saying that's something that LaMelo Ball should have been ejected for tripping Bam Adebayo, getting him hurt, doing all that stuff. I feel like the NBA, man, there's only really one course of action the NBA could take here, which would be if you do deem it dirty, which I think all of us can look at it and be like, man, there's some questions there, right? Maybe it is a little dirty. If you do deem it dirty, then you probably have to suspend him, right? Like he's got to be out the next game. Or maybe a fine, something like that, but I don't think a fine is going to be enough. Beastrill saying the Panthers lucked their way into the playoffs. LOL. Hey, again, it don't matter how you get there as long as you get there, right? Like that's the thing. You were there. You played a playoff game. Fuck, that's more than my team played. God, I hate my team. I hate that I love them. I got to bring that merch back. The I hate that I love them merch. We got to bring that one back. But that was some fun basketball yesterday. Not only what Charlotte was able to do, getting the win, moving on. Hopefully they get to be the 8 seed. We'll see what happens there. If I am not mistaken, it is Orlando and Philadelphia tonight, right? Is that who it is? Orlando and Philadelphia? I might be wrong. I know it's Philadelphia. We are going to the schedule. We are looking it up. Yeah, it is Orlando and Philadelphia. Look at me. Look at me actually knowing a little bit of something. And if you're Charlotte, you can beat one of those two teams, right? Like, I don't trust Philadelphia. I don't trust Orlando. Orlando, to me, has been super disappointing. Shrill saying, yes, it is Orlando and Philly. Orlando, to me, has been super disappointing. I would have thought they'd have been better. I like Franz Wagner. I like Pablo Banchero. Like, I think they're a solid enough team, but they're just, I don't know, I was expecting them to be better. Maybe that's on me, right? Like, me having expectations shouldn't reflect on the season that the Orlando Magic had. But Philadelphia, I think, is a perpetual disappointment to most basketball fans. You expect Joel Embiid to be halfway decent, and you look at that roster. I want to look at the Philadelphia 76ers roster. Because it's sad, kind of, right? Like, VJ Edgecombe, I think people wanted a little more out of VJ Edgecombe this year's rookie season, but you got Joel Embiid, you have Paul George, right? Kelly Oubre, like, you got some dudes on here where you're just kind of thinking to yourself, what if, right? And again, I know I said it earlier, I try not to live in the world of what if, but like, what if Paul George wasn't a choke artist in the playoffs? You know what I mean? What if Joel Embiid could actually stay healthy? Because you look at it, you see both of those dudes and they got so much talent, but it just seems like they can't ever put it together. And again, far be it from me to judge somebody, but Jesus, man. Be healthy once in a while. I might be big and fat, but at least I'm reliable. I say I'm going to be somewhere, I'm somewhere. If you didn't see yesterday on my Instagram page, I posted up where I made my broadcast debut at a camera because I just had to run out there and work that camera for a little bit. It's all good. You got to do what you got to do. But I was available. I was there. I needed to be there. You got to see my big ass out there on the camera, looking wider than all outside. Beastrilla asking, what's your drinking tip? I am drinking, and this is going to be funny as hell because y'all can see the cup. It's one of those cups that changes color with heat, right? So you can tell it's a hot coffee right now. This is a Starbucks cup. You can tell by the logo. But I have a bunch of Dunkin' Donuts or Dunkin' coffee because I love Dunkin' coffee. Put it in my Keurig. Put the Dunkin' coffee in there. I didn't have any creamer, so I put in a little bit of milk and sugar because, I'm just doing my thing. Carol Baskins is my hero is asking Mike Tipton. Yes, I am Mike Tipton. I know I don't look like Mike Tipton, but I am Mike Tipton. Saying long lost cousin. I don't know about any of that, but maybe. Who knows? I am adopted, so says my name is Landon Tipton. Look at that. You know what? It's always awesome. Always awesome. Whenever you get to meet another Tipton. That's a very rare name, uncommon name. Although I did meet a couple of Tiptons when I lived in North Carolina. But I believe the chances of us being related of any type are more than likely de minimis. But I will accept you into my virtual family. Welcome. Hope that you're having a good old time. You know what? There is a possibility now. Now that you say Arkansas, look at this, guys. We're figuring stuff out here because my Uncle Junior lived in Arkansas. That's my dad's brother. He was in his 90s whenever he passed away, which was probably about 15 years ago or so. So there's the possibility. But again, I'm adopted. So you got to accept the adopted part of it all. But look at that. There might be something there. There might be something there. My family is enormous. So I also I wouldn't doubt that somewhere out there is that line of being related. I am the youngest of 11 in my adopted family. My dad was the second youngest of 10, I want to say. Yeah. Yeah. And my dad being the second youngest of 10, I'll have to look into that. We'll see. Wiley Bill Tipton. I'm going to have to look into that because I do have an uncle that was Bill Tipton, but I don't think that I'm trying to put it all to, like my father's name was Thomas, or my grandfather's name was Thomas. There's a question mark there because I never met my grandfather. Clearly, my dad being 54 years old whenever he adopted me means that, his dad was all that. Huh? There you go. Now, you see, my family, like the origins of my family were Levelland, Texas. Levelland, Texas. That is super close, though. Let's see, my dad was born in 1930. I think his oldest brother, Spencer, was born in 1918 or 1916. I know it sounds horrible because of all the question marks and stuff like that. I could figure it out, but again, got to keep in mind the huge age gap. I think from what I was told is my dad being born in 1930, his dad was closer to 50 whenever he was born. So my grandfather was closer to 50 whenever my dad was born, which means my grandfather was born in like the 1800s or something like that. So you see, my part of the family, and this is going to sound we're peeling it back here. I love this. My part of the Tipton family originated from Rome, Georgia. There is a plantation there still that is called the Tipton Plantation, but that is where they originated from. Like my dad's family migrated to West Texas from Rome, Georgia. So maybe someone stopped along the way in Oklahoma. I could 100% see that because you're going west. It's getting hotter. You don't want to keep going out that way. So why not? I would stop in Oklahoma. My mother was from Oklahoma, but obviously she's not a Tipton. I love this though. This is cool. I like having this. Thank you for being here, Landon. I hope you like, you subscribe. We can talk some more going forward. Follow me on all my social media at Mr. Tipton33 because I want to see as we move forward. I want to see there has to be some sort of a connection. There has to be. I just know there has to be. Look at that. We create family bonds on the tipping point with Mike Tipton. That's what we do. Beastrilla and Tommy, if you're still there, you guys learned some stuff about your boy. Learning that my adopted family originated from a plantation in Rome, Georgia. And that's what I'm saying. Because the last name Tipton isn't very common, there's got to be some sort of connection down there. Like I'm sure it's clearly going to be distant, but I don't know much about my grandfather's family, right? I think I'm going to have to, and that's the thing that sucks about being adopted is whenever I did the like DNA test and found out that I'm 100% that tip, it gave me like relatives that I'm related to biologically. It didn't give me my adopted family. So now I've got to go through, talk with one of my sisters, find her tree, connect all that stuff together, doing all that. Genealogy is a time-consuming SOB. I know that much. Tommy's saying, LOL, I'm driving, but I'm here. You guys are learning stuff about me, man. To show you all that stuff. I do, again, I think it's hilarious that there is a singular generation between me at 42 years old and my grandfather who was born in the 1800s. I love that. Like just knowing that, like the whole adoption thing. That is awesome. Saying I was lucky enough to have both of my Tipton great grandparents around most of my life. And then saying, yeah, that is pretty crazy. Yeah. Again, my dad adopted me at 54 years old. And his dad, if I might be off by just a couple of years, but I know his father was closer to 50 whenever he had him, as opposed to, a younger man. And saying, blessed to have you here in the family, good sir. You know what? The pleasure is all mine. Blessed to have you here as well. I think I just heard a door open in my house. Oh. Someone was about to get got. Saying, off to work. Have a blessed day. Thank you, Landon. Like I said, hope you liked, subscribed, did all that stuff. I'd like to speak to you in the future about connecting this Tipton family tree of ours. What a fun time. Bistro saying, oh, you're seeing ghosts again? More than likely. Actually, no. Papers were dropped off to me. I finally got my green card, guys. I'm finally here legally. But no, it's all good. To show you again the military training of how I can hear everything. Everything. And also, it wouldn't be a show if there weren't ghosts lying around somewhere. Not sure if y'all remember. That thing back there used to be moving around a lot. Notice how it's not moving anymore. All right? That Texas Tech Red Raiders flag back there used to move around a lot. Not seeing it move anymore. Literally nothing has changed in here. The ghost might have left, or he's living in my living room. Maybe that's what it is. All right, let's move on. I love the route that we took there for about a good 10 minutes. We went from talking about LaMelo Ball and basketball to my family tree and trying to connect it with somebody else's family tree, which I think is awesome. I think it's awesome. Again, y'all learned a little bit of something about your boy. One generation separating me from the 1800s, which is, whenever you say it out loud, is absolutely wild. I should have hit him with, I don't even know if I told you all this, now that I'm thinking about it. My adopted parents adopted my biological mother, which is how they were able to adopt me after I was born. So, my biological mother is my adopted sister. If I was in Alabama, I'd be the governor. But there you go. Learning more stuff about Michael Tipton as we move forward. Maybe I think Tommy might have already known that, but I just love how awkward that sounds whenever somebody says it. I would 100% be the governor of Alabama. I would be able to do whatever I wanted in the state of Alabama. I can get away with anything in the state of Alabama if I truly wanted to. I want to clip that as well. I want to send that to somebody, specifically for somebody that I work with. It's going to be great. Okay. All right. Let's get back into it. Basketball. We're talking about basketball. We're not talking about Alabama. We're talking about basketball. Good basketball. Although Alabama did have a pretty decent run in the NCAA tournament. The Charlotte Hornets going to get the loser of Orlando and Philadelphia. My mind, more than likely going to be Philadelphia. Philadelphia is just super overrated. Not a big fan of Philadelphia in any aspect. And it's not just because of how much I hate the Philadelphia Eagles. I love a Philadelphia cheesesteak. But I am not a fan of any of the stuff that's going on with the Philadelphia 76ers. I again, a super underwhelming team. A completely disappointing team. And just one of those, again, like huge question mark teams that you got, right? Bistro saying, yeah, I like Orlando in that one. I mean, I feel like you have to. Again, I am disappointed in Orlando. I thought they'd be better than, fighting for the 7th seed. But they're better than Philadelphia. I know they have the exact same record, but I feel like they're better than Philadelphia. They have to be better than Philadelphia. So many question marks around the Philadelphia 76ers. And like you could have thought there for a while, like they were one of those teams that was on the come up, that you thought there might be something there for the Philadelphia 76ers. Trusting the process. Everybody was trusting the process. We thought it was going to work out. It was going to be great for them. Joel Embiid's an MVP, right? Like you got all this stuff. And it just doesn't work out. And it seems like they've been trying to hold on to the remnants of all that stuff. I feel like had they traded Joel Embiid a couple of years ago, you could have gotten something for him. I don't think you would have gotten like maximum value for him, but you could have got something for him, right? Like it wouldn't have been a whole bunch of, draft picks or anything like that, but you could have gotten something for Joel Embiid. Instead, you held on to him. He's well past his prime. He's always hurt. He's not going to be anything that you want to really hold on to in the future. You go out, you trade a bunch of stuff to get Paul George, of all people, who's also always hurt, who is not a clutch playoff player. It wasn't smart it wasn't smart business-wise from the Philadelphia 76ers. At least not in my mind. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm a jerk. Maybe it is whatever it is. Bistro reminding me that Joel Embiid out for this game. Of course he is. Of course he is. Again, Joel Embiid was born, got spanked by the doctor, ended up on the IR, out 4 to 6 weeks. Like that's exactly how it happened whenever he was born. I know this because I wrote his biography. There's going to be somebody out there that takes that seriously too. That's the best part about the internet. I love trolling. In case you haven't noticed, I love trolling on the internet. I love just throwing grenades out there and seeing what happens. And most of the time, like, I don't even have to comment back on something that I put out. People love calling me out on stuff, and I don't even comment back. It's just love living in people's heads. It's a wonderful, wonderful world of mine. That's why I'm the hater of the year. I was going to play a clip of Bombs Over Baghdad, but I thought that was in bad taste. I'm a little bit of a jerk. And then you go over to the Western Conference side of things, right? And yesterday, the Portland Trailblazers beating the Phoenix Suns. As a Spurs fan, I wanted the Phoenix Suns because I think of those amazing matchups with like Amari Stoudemire, Steve Nash, Raja Bell, and then boy Sean Marion taking on my San Antonio Spurs. Oh, wow, I missed it. I missed my own thing. I can't believe that. Strilla, you're 100% correct. How did I miss? Just the tip.
I just want to put the tip in.
It's time for
Just the Tip.
That would make me uncomfortable.
Promise that it ain't too much, but just enough. Just a tip. Just a tip.
Just the tip. Just the tip.
It's time for Just the Tip.
Just the Tip is brought to you by our friends over at www.myhappynuts.com. Check out myhappynuts.com and view the amazing selection of things that it's got for you as a man to take care of yourself. Your undercarriage probably smells like sweating asshole right now because it's getting hotter than Satan's nutsack out there. So what do? You go get the My Happy Nuts comfort cream, you slather it all over your boys, and you're good to go for the rest of the day. You want to make sure you smell good, that you want to smell as good as I do. You can tell by looking at me that I smell amazing. And the reason why is because I wash myself with the Big Wood and the Big Wood body wash from my friends over at www.myhappynuts.com. Go visit the website today. Use promo code Mike Tipton at checkout and save on all of your male grooming needs, and make sure that you never miss your tip the way that I did. That's so dumb. I had to take off because I am somewhat professional. Hello, how are you today? I would like to try to pronounce your name. I just don't want to butcher your name. Because I'm one of these people, like, I feel everybody should have their name pronounced correctly. And if I can't pronounce your name, I'm more than likely just not going to pronounce it. I apologize for that. Kentarje? Is that what it is? Kentarje. I want to say it's Kentarje. I probably said it wrong. I apologize. But I acknowledge that you are here, like we acknowledge our tribal chief as WrestleMania is coming up this weekend. Look at that transition. I know nobody wants to talk wrestling with me. I've got all my wrestling stuff behind me. I'm going to miss night one of WrestleMania because our El Paso Locomotive are in town. And obviously I have to help run the broadcast. But I was thinking, we have a couple of computers and things like that we push them out into like our channels that we have on our TVs and stuff like that. Should I have WrestleMania night one on the TVs in our Stalker Stadium? And I feel like the answer to that is yes. But I also feel like, what if people aren't watching the soccer game and they're watching WrestleMania? You know what I mean? Like I gotta figure it out, because we are gonna have our El Paso Chihuahuas who are going to be in Round Rock taking on the Express. That's going to be on TV. So I think one of the other channels ought to be WrestleMania. Maybe I talked to my boys about that. My boys, Jim and Pat. Maybe I talked to them about that. I don't know if this is a place where I talk about wrestling. As much as I love wrestling, I know what y'all want, and it ain't wrestling. It's more Portland Trailblazers talk and much more tip. And Tommy, I hope for the last couple of days at least the kids have been out of the car. I think those are eyes. I am the worst with any of like the emoticons or any of that stuff. I do use emojis a lot. I think if you text me, I use like, hashtag YOLO, little picture of a whale and a rainbow and stuff like that. Like that's what I use because I'm a man. Damn it. A manly man. The most manly man. But speaking of our El Paso Locomotive, they're going to be in action tonight versus the Houston Dynamo. If they win this game in the Open Cup, they will move on to the quarterfinals, the round of 16. So we are having ourselves a watch party tonight at the Palomino Tavern. $7 drink specials or $7 food specials, $7 wings, $7 nachos, and then the drink specials, $4 tequila shots, $4 Cazadores margaritas, and $3 Estrella Jalisco. And then for every single goal that the El Paso Locomotive score tonight, free shots for the entire tavern. Why wouldn't you go out there? First off, I'm going to be out there. So come hang out with your boy. Get a couple of libations. Strilla, hop on a jet, bring your big old happy ass on down here, and have a good time with your boy. Tommy, you're in El Paso. Call off of work. Be like, you know what? I don't care about work today. Fire me, if you may. Don't do that part. I'm going to go and get a drink with the tip. Sounds good. Why not? We're going to get a drink with the tip. We're going to watch soccer. We're going to have a good old time. Tommy, for me, I'm looking you right in the eyes, Tommy. Please, one day, I want to watch a soccer game with you. I don't even like soccer, and I want to watch a soccer game with you. You and I could become soccer hooligans together. Think about that. Think of the chaos we can create as soccer hooligans. I work for the team, though, so okay, I can be. I should be a soccer hooligan. Come out to the game on Saturday. We are going to give away this awesome Locomotive trucker hat. You can tell it looks good. If it makes my goofy ass look good, it's going to look great on you. But come on out to the stadium. The giveaway we have, this Loco State of Mind trucker hat that we're going to be giving away at the stadium. That is the last I'm going to speak about all the stuff that we're doing. Come on out, have a drink with your boy tonight. That's all I'm asking. I guarantee you Augustine won't be there. Every time Augustine says he's going to be somewhere, he's not. It hurts me. It hurts my heart. But it is okay. We'll be all right. We are finding our way through. We are meandering our way through. We've got this. The Portland Trailblazers. Wow, Tommy. Wow. That hurts. That was a shot right to the heart. But you're too late. You give love a bad name. That was dumb. Oh my God, that was so dumb. Okay, so we spoke about that. Portland Trailblazers beat the Phoenix Suns yesterday. Obviously, the nostalgia in me wanted to have the Phoenix Suns. But then I also thought about one of the greatest moments in San Antonio Spurs history is the shot that Sean Elliott hit on Memorial Day. They called it the Memorial Day Miracle. He gets the ball in the inbound, turn around, fall away three, drains that three, right? I look at that, and that was against the Portland Trailblazers. So there is a little bit of like nostalgic history there. And you got to remember what that Trailblazers team was back in like the late 90s. We're talking about like 1999, right? You had Damon Stoudemire, Rasheed Wallace, Jermaine O'Neal, Scottie Pippen was on that team, right? That was a loaded team that a lot of people felt could have made it to the NBA Finals. That was a Western Conference final that they played against the San Antonio Spurs where Sean Elliott hits that shot. But since then, it's been a tough road for the Portland Trailblazers. You had what you thought was going to be awesome with Brandon Roy, right? Like if you think about this, if Greg Oden was just a little better, he did play like a 10-year NBA career, but if Greg Oden was just a little better, Brandon Roy doesn't get hurt, and you have LaMarcus Aldridge with Andre Miller at your point guard, that was a team that could have won a championship, man. Like they had all the buildings there. Tommy's saying, do they play where the Chihuahuas play? Yes, the Locomotive do play at Southwest University Park. Again, I'm not a big soccer guy, but it is a fun time. Kantar J asking, what time did you start the live? I started the live about 40 minutes ago, so 8 o'clock Mountain Central Time or Mountain Standard Time Mountain Daylight Time, whatever it is that you call it, Mountain Time in the United States is when I started the live, 8 o'clock at that point in time. We only go from 8 to 9. Man, I feel like my camera's super blurry. Even more blurry. Coming back. That a little better? Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's my glasses. Maybe I got to see about something. I don't know. Got to fix my cameras. It's a great type of camera work you can expect from me. All right. Anyway, I'm loving the possibilities of things, right? And then whenever you look at the playing games that we have today, like we already mentioned, we're going to have Philadelphia versus Orlando. I already think that Philadelphia is going to lose that game. Then you have Golden State taking on the LA Clippers. And I saw something yesterday where I was like thinking about this, and they kept talking about Kawhi Leonard and the legacy of Kawhi Leonard. Also, you know, comparing that to the legacy of Steph Curry. And if you know anything about me, even though Kawhi Leonard left San Antonio in a very unceremonious manner, I still love Kawhi Leonard. His laugh brings me joy. I play it whenever we get a strikeout at the stadium. The Kawhi Leonard laugh. Right? Like where you can clearly tell that Kawhi Leonard does not know how to laugh. But whenever you compare legacy with a guy like Steph Curry, Kawhi Leonard, as good as he is, as great as he was, doesn't hold a damn candle to that. That to me is insulting Steph Curry more than it is praising Kawhi Leonard. We need to look at the way Steph Curry impacted the game of basketball. Again, you look at the greatest names in the history of the NBA, and for the most part, it's big dudes, right? David Robinson, Hakeem Olajuwon, Yao Ming, Wilt Chamberlain, Shaq, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, even fucking Magic Johnson was a point guard, yes, but he was 6'9". LeBron James, 6'9". Larry Bird, 6'9". Like you got all these huge dudes. The outlier there was Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant at 6'6". Then you've got 6'3" Steph Curry, who makes it seem like the smallest guy on the court could be the most dominant player in the game. And he really was for a long period of time. You did not want Steph Curry to get going. We've seen it a million times. Probably not. I'm exaggerating, obviously. But we've seen it a ton of times where Steph Curry gets the ball and you know it's game over. You never got that with Kawhi. You knew that Kawhi was going to be great defensively. You knew that Kawhi, if he was healthy, was going to be one of the best in the NBA. But he's missed so much time since leaving San Antonio. Even the year, 2019, when he wins a championship with the Toronto Raptors, he missed a lot of games. This is where the whole thing of load management comes around, is what we do with Kawhi Leonard. Steph Curry, yeah, he might have missed some games early on in his career, especially late in his career. He missed a lot of games. But you knew he was out there playing as much as he possibly could. Look at the Olympics. Right? You knew, even though Victor Wembanyama was keeping France in that game, the second Steph Curry wanted to take over and could take over, he took over. It was game over. Lights out. Started draining three after three after three. You cannot, at least in my mind, you cannot reasonably compare Kawhi Leonard to Steph Curry. And I love me some Kawhi Leonard. But Steph Curry is going to go down as one of the greatest of all time. Arguably the greatest shooter the game has ever seen. And I don't even think it's an argument. I'm just saying that to be nice. I cannot think of another shooter in the NBA, in the history of the NBA, that was as lethal as Steph Curry was, that was as dominant as Steph Curry was. He already has all the records, like the most three-pointers made in NBA history. And I get it. Yeah, the league shoots a lot more threes now. You could transplant Steph Curry into any era of the NBA, and he's still the most devastating, deadly shooter that we've ever seen. That's not Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard might have been one of the best defensive players we've seen for a small period of time. The way he shut down LeBron James in the NBA Finals in 2014, That was one of my favorite memes that I saw. It's like the LeBron James thing whenever Kawhi Leonard checks into the game and LeBron kind of looks over and sees it's Kawhi and he kind of rolls his eyes and he says the F word. He's just like, fuck. That was awesome. From 2013 to 2019, Kawhi Leonard was one of the most dominant players of all time. That little 6-year period there. But since then, it's been load management. It's been, I can't play this game. I won't play this game. Issue after issue after issue after issue. Time and time and time and time again with Kawhi Leonard. Meanwhile, Steph Curry won 4 championships. Yes, Kawhi won 2, one with my San Antonio Spurs, one with Toronto. But look at how dominant those Golden State Warrior teams were. Hell, there was even a year, 2022, where no one thought that they were going to be good. They're too old. They can't do any of this. And Steph Curry wills them to a championship in 2022. A lot of people forget about that championship. It's wild. Again, love me some Kawhi Leonard. Don't think comparing Kawhi Leonard to Steph Curry is anywhere in the realm of reality. If you're doing that, you are all kinds of drunk. And you should be hanging out with me tonight. I did want to talk a little bit about something that I had seen, and it involves the New York Football Giants. They are unable to come to a contract extension with DeMarcus Lawrence. The New York Giants, to me, are a fascinating team to watch going into this next season. I love their defensive line. I think they have, if not one of the best defensive lines in the NFL. They're one of those teams where we always talk about it, the arrow is pointing up, right? This is the New York Giants. The arrow is pointing up. Jackson Dart should be better. You get Malik Neighbors back following the injury. You hopefully get Cam Scatterbo back following the injury. You have Jerome Tracy there, as a solid backup running back. But it also feels like the Giants aren't going to be able to capitalize on this window. Because you look at the other teams that are ahead of them in the NFC East. I still think Dallas is better. Washington, probably not better, but would probably be eye level, right? They're the Spider-Man meme pointing at each other. Philadelphia, clearly the better team in the division so far. It would take a lot for the New York Giants to be able to be like a good team. Dexter Lawrence. I think I said DeMarcus Lawrence. Dexter Lawrence. I had to think about that too. It's Dexter Lawrence. One of the issues they got. Kanjari, thank you so much for tuning in. You got to go 10:51 in your country right now. What country is that in? Hopefully you subscribe. You can come back and join us anytime, my friend. Cheers to you. You see my coffee's getting cold. But they're unable to move to come up with a contract for Dexter Lawrence. It was just, the Freudian slip of me saying DeMarcus Lawrence, who I made fun of whenever he went to Seattle and said he'll never win a Super Bowl with Sam Darnold as his quarterback. I'm an idiot. Again, I apologize because I was wrong. Look at that. Look at me being able to say I was wrong and I apologize. Some people out there should learn that lesson. And before anyone takes that too serious, I'm not talking about anybody in general. I'm just talking about people, right? Hardest thing for us to do as human beings is say, I'm sorry, I was wrong. I apologize, I was wrong. DeMarcus Lawrence, looking you in the eyes right now, my friend. I was wrong. You won a Super Bowl with Sam Darnold as your quarterback, and I said you couldn't do it. I was wrong. I will be wrong in the future. I have been wrong in the past. I hope that all you can do is forgive this guy that you've never met. But Dexter Lawrence not being able to come up with a contract with the New York Giants. This, to me, is what's going to be interesting to see with the New York Giants. Again, I think they're a team that has a positive trajectory. I genuinely do. But there's your caveat. But I don't think they're going to be able to keep their core players throughout this entire duration of things that they need, right? They're going to have to try to capitalize on this as quick as they can. And I think they have so much more hurdles in front of them than most other teams do, right? Tommy's saying, I was wrong too. Look at that. We build bridges of forgiveness here on the Tipping Point with Mike Tipton. We build family bridges and we build bridges of forgiveness. We're a bridge building exercise here. You want me to really mess up your day today, guys? Think about this. Every bridge, every road, every building that you use was built by the lowest bidder using the cheapest parts possible. Think about that now. Oh, that's exactly where I was going, Tommy. Look at that. Same wavelength, my friend. So, I feel like it's time for the New York Giants to, move on from Dexter Lawrence. Outright release him, find a trade, do something, right? They've engaged with teams for potential trades of Lawrence, which will now continue ahead of next week's NFL draft. What if? Because I feel safe in saying this. I don't think the Giants have drafted all that well. Maybe they've gotten a couple of guys here or there. I don't think they've drafted all that well. So if you're the Dallas Cowboys, and Tommy, maybe you can answer this for me. Strilla, maybe you can answer this for me. What would you trade to get Dexter Lawrence on your team? Because if you're the Dallas Cowboys, Kenny Clark, Quinnen Williams, Dexter Lawrence, hell, doesn't matter who you have on the outside because the inside is going to get absolutely wrecked. That came off weird. You're going to wreck your insides. Oh, man, I'm putting that on a shirt with the Dallas Cowboys. Who got that good D? And on the back, we're going to wreck your insides. Oh, look at this, my guy. Sergeant Sims, Lawrence Sims, I got nothing but love for you. I'm sorry that you joined in at that point in time. I'm saying, what's up, Mike? It's been a minute. Glad you are back in the mix doing your thing. It has been a minute, and I am glad to be here as well. I obviously, one of the lessons I learned from the military is that the mission comes first, right? Service before self. Our second core value in the United States Air Force. And obviously excellence in all we do. I've had to put work ahead. I am back doing what I love, back being able to speak with everybody here for the foreseeable future. Obviously, there's going to be a few days where I have to miss because of day games and things like that. But I love doing what I'm doing. Tommy talking about what he would give up to get Dexter Lawrence would be a first and a third. And you know what? I would say that's a good call. I was thinking maybe a first and a second, but I thought that would be overpaying. A first and a fourth, I think, would also be good. It has to be in this year's draft, obviously. But if you're the Cowboys, why not your second first-round draft pick and your third-round draft pick go out and get Dexter Lawrence? Now, the only issue with that is going to be, would the New York Giants take it? You know what I mean? If I'm the Giants, do I want to trade a player like that to an in-division team, much less a team that I look at as a rival? I don't think as Cowboys fans we look at the Giants as a real rival because they're so bad. they're just really bad. But that look like that would be good for me. Like if they asked for a first and a second, I think I'd give up that first and a second. Because obviously you're their in-division rival, they're gonna try to, bump that price up a little bit. 2 firsts, definitely not. First and a second, we're kind of walking the line. A first and a third, I think, is chef's kiss would be perfect to help out that Dallas Cowboys defensive line. And if you're Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys, you've really got to think about this, right? Like, you struck out on Max Crosby, which I still don't think they've necessarily struck out on. I still think a deal could be made. If you're the Dallas Cowboys, why don't you go out and make both trades? Because again, like I look at this draft and I don't see anybody that really stands out to me. So if you can trade some draft picks, get Dexter Lawrence and get Max Crosby along with Quinnen Williams and Kenny Clark, that's a solid defensive line that the Dallas Cowboys will be able to create right there. That would be a pretty terrifying defensive line that the Dallas Cowboys would be able to get right there. Obviously, I think Max Crosby might be a little bit over the hill, but hell, we saw Jadeveon Clowney come in last year and wreck shop, led the team in sacks. Why wouldn't you do that? Tommy's saying, I don't think anyone would be willing to give up a first, so the Giants would be fools to say no. I agree with that as well, but I could see a team that needs a little bit of help along the defensive line, right? Like a team that needs to be able to rush the passer, needs to be able to do some stuff like that. I would say, like, if Jacksonville offered a first-round pick, I wouldn't be surprised. It is going to be interesting to see if Myles Garrett goes on the move, though. Because I really feel like it's got, like, Myles Garrett, if you're Cleveland, you got to move him. I know you keep saying you're not going to, but you've got to move Myles Garrett. That's the only way you can make your team. He's the only part of that team that you can trade that'll get you anything. So you have to trade Myles Garrett. Like, I feel like that's the only way you can build for the future. Lawrence Sims saying that's going to be expensive since Dallas traded for Quinnen Williams last season and Dexter Lawrence is looking for a new contract. Not to mention, they say they want to pay George Pickens. The thing with the Dallas Cowboys is that they do have a little bit of cap space. They've got a lot more cap space this year than what they've had in the past. So I feel like they could find a way to make it work, but I agree with you. All those trades are going to add up to something unless you're just trying to go all in for one season, in which case – because you do have to kind of look at it like this way with the Dallas Cowboys is it's right there. To me, it's not too much of a stretch, and it's not me being a homer, but it's not too much of a stretch to say if the Dallas Cowboys make some right moves, they can be a Super Bowl contending team. You know what I mean? Like you're right there. You're right there with it. We have two, so I'd be willing to give up one of them to make sure I get him exactly. And then he's asking, how old is Dexter? I think Dexter is 31, but I've got to check out here. Let's see. Do we have an age here? Normally, ESPN is really good at giving me ages, but it didn't do it for me right now. Oh, wow, he's 28, so he's younger than what I thought he was. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see how it goes. All right. We will continue the conversation tomorrow. I hope that everyone enjoyed the show. Once again, remember, like, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. Hopefully we'll see you around again. Remember, join me tonight at the Palomino Tavern. The El Paso Locomotive going to be taking on the Houston Dynamo. The Locomotive are undefeated this year. Still undefeated. They have a chance at making some history today. They're going to move on, looking to move on in the Open Cup. So come on out there to the Palomino Tavern. $7 wings, $7 nachos. We've got the $4 margaritas, Cazadores margaritas, $4 tequila shots, $3 Estrella Jalisco, and I'm going to be out there. So if for anything else, come see me. Come hang out with Big Sexy. Hopefully we'll see you all there. Remember, on Saturday, we're giving away this amazing Locomotive hat at the stadium. It's going to be one of our mini giveaways that we have throughout the season. Check out this trucker hat. We will see you all out there later on this year, later on this week. Everybody, thank you so much for tuning into today's show. We will see you all tomorrow.